Today we're talking about Alzheimer's with Nurse Jackie Hickey of Bayshore Home Health. So, Nurse Jackie, tell me, what is the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's?
Well, it's kind of interesting because a lot of people use them interchangeably, but they are a little bit different. Dementia really is kind of the umbrella. If you look at deterioration in all those thought processes, in your cognition, your ability to function, that's really what you're looking at with dementia. Dementia is more a syndrome. It's a characteristic of different types of symptoms that people acquire or develop. Things like, a memory, impairment of their ability to judge, thinking, thought process. And then if you move over to Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's really is a form or a type of dementia.
Oh.
So, with Alzheimer's, you tend to see all those symptoms occurring with the individual. But what we tend to see is Alzheimer's happens over a long period of time. So it's a series of events that occur. With dementia, it could be, for example, something called chronic trauma related to boxers. Boxers, right, for example, will develop dementia because of the trauma that happens repeatedly to them. With Alzheimer's, it's really it's a disease. Alzheimer's is a disease, and it's that slow progression of symptoms, and you tend to see it in people over the age of 65.
So what are the early warning signs then?
The early warning signs are really things that you see as the loved one, or looking at your parent or your spouse. Things that change, things that are repeating, things that just make you think that that's not my spouse, that's not my husband, that's not my wife. If you have to question it, then you know that it's time. So things like memory, affecting speech, your ability to remember, forgetfulness is a big key when we start talking about some of these signs and symptoms. Driving, safety, looking at individuals who may be driving and they get lost. They're in the car and they forget where they're going, or they can't remember how to get home. And the other thing that's really important with safety and driving is the ability to problem solve, that judgment call. Do I step on the gas now, or do I step on the brake?
Right.
So, you look at some of these things, confusion, memory, thinking, thought process, all those are really the signs and symptoms.
Now, what do you do then once you recognize those signs in someone?
Well, as I said, once you recognize something that you think is not going away or not changing back to the norm, it's time to seek medical attention. Book an appointment, go in, talk to the physician, and really look at diagnosis. How do we determine if somebody has Alzheimer's or dementia? And a lot of research, a lot of effort is being put into how do we diagnose, how do we find the cause, how do we treat effectively. And so starting early, just like anything with prevention or being proactive, is really the key.
Well, this is fascinating information, and thank you so much for your great advice.
You're welcome.
Now, if you'd like more information, visit bayshore.ca. Keeping you informed, I'm Sheila Clark, and you've been watching Daily Web TV.